Welcome back, everyone, to another incredible episode of Chat with Dan here. Now, for today, what can I say? We have on the show the incredible, the amazing, the badass, the superstar, the legendary, the one and only, the incredible Jade. Jade, how are you today?
I'm very good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. What better way, right, to have an incredible, kind of a early evening kind of thing,
Mm.
what better way to have an incredible super kind of evening that to be chatting with someone as badass as you know what I mean?
Oh, thank you very much. I'm super excited to be chatting with you. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, before we start, I do want to thank those who are tuning in. Thank you so much. If you are new to the channel, well, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow, helps a lot. But also, on the description below, you're gonna find all of Jade's social media. Let's follow her, and let's discover why she's super badass. Right now, without further more, let's begin. So I will start this whole amazing conversation by throwing out the first question, which is, what initially drew you to acting? Was there a specific moment or performance that solidified your passion for it?
I would say I actually never got into acting until grade 10, surprisingly. That's when I took my first acting course in high school. And I really enjoyed it. I loved acting. And then I feel like the turning point was when I actually saw a movie being filmed at the school. We were just kind of in the back, we were watching it being filmed. I can't even remember which one it was, but I just remember being so wowed by them filming and the way that everything was and the camera setup and the director. And I feel like that really fueled me into looking at it more seriously. And from then on, I did a lot of background and did more schooling until I finally booked my first job. And I feel like all of that just kind of built into my love for it now. So,
There
yeah.
you go. Epic start. I love it. And back when you were a kid, was there something else you wanted to be besides, later on start into the whole acting?
So when I was younger, not that I'm a great singer, but I always wanted to be a singer actually when I was younger, surprisingly. I'm an okay singer. I'm no Ariana Grande or Sabrina Carpenter, but I'm decent. But other than that, I've actually always wanted to do something with animals.
Hmm.
I just find them amazing. I would love to open up like a rehabilitation center or something like that in the future if I ever had the funds for it. I feel like that's something that I would really enjoy and would give me fulfillment. That's
That's
another thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah, I have the same idea. I will love at some point to open up kind of like a shelter to it.
Oh, yeah. It's just so nice because so many animals need homes and they're so sweet and I love them.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you still sing every now and then, or just for you, or?
Kind of just for me. I sing a lot when I'm driving, when I'm in the car. Anytime I'm driving, I'm always singing. I'm always blasting my music, windows a little bit down. But I don't do any singing professionally
Hmm.
or am pursuing that in any way, unfortunately. I've thought about it. I've thought about posting some videos, but haven't quite gotten a setup or gotten there yet. So maybe that's something. Stay tuned, possibly in the future.
Sounds like a
Coming
plan.
to a social media near you.
There you go. And what are some of the songs that you usually sing? Like, what are your favorite artists?
I tend to fiddle through like my favorites, but I would say the ones that come to mind are probably I love Rihanna. She's a classic. Everybody loves Rihanna. I love Rihanna. Um, Ariana Grande is pretty great. I think she's insanely talented. Her range is absolutely incredible. And then recently, Sabrina Carpenter. I've been really, really liking her vibe, her music, her stage presence. I feel like she's just a full package and she's so cute. And I really love what she's doing at the moment. So those would probably be my top like female artists. I love
Okay.
at the moment. Yeah.
Okay. And for those female artists you have, if you got the chance to be in one concert, best place to, fully enjoy everything in one of those from one of those three, which one would you pick?
Oh, like just attending.
Yeah, like right now, you get the opportunity, like the whole thing, even, you know what, I will even throw like a backstage to it.
Oh, That's so hard. Mm, I wanna say Sabrina Carpenter just because she's my favorite right now.
Mm-hmm.
At this current moment, I would probably say Sabrina Carpenter just because I love her stage presence. I think that she's awesome. So
Okay.
probably,
Okay.
yes.
And if you were like a professional singer, would you also collab with her, or you would choose, I don't know, Rihanna or?
I feel like I'd want to collab with any one of them, but definitely Sabrina Carpenter. Don't know if my sound, I feel like I do sing her type of songs decently, like the upbeat sort of pop vibe. But I do really like for my own personal voice a more R&B vibe, which might go more towards like kind of like the Rihanna side, maybe, possibly.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I would love to work with any one of them. Any one of them would be an amazing experience. So any of them.
Sounds like a plan. I tell you what, if I ever if I ever create the whole carpool episode, I'll be letting you know so we can have like sing along to it.
Yes, please. I would love that.
Sounds like a plan. I love it. And focusing a little bit more into your whole, acting career. So, as an actor, you often have to inhabit the lives of various characters. So, how do you approach stepping in a new role, and what techniques do you use to make the character feel authentic?
I feel like I've really started working on my process more the last few months since I started doing classes more regularly. But I would say when I'm stepping into the life, more so finding areas in my own life that I can relate to that character on. I feel like that's really important because if you can relate to something, even if you haven't been through a particular event, but you can say that this is something that the character really wanted and it's so different, but yet this is something that I've really wanted that kind of has the same stakes. This is how I felt. And then you bring that into the character. And I feel like I kind of lost myself a little bit originally so I started working and I was doing really great. And then when I stopped booking, I started almost like losing myself in my work. And I was more so trying to create a character without adding any of me into it. And I feel like it's really important to find those areas of yourself that match the character because the character lives through you. You're not creating somebody else. The character lives through you and you are what make it original and what is going to get you booked. So I feel like that's really important to, you know, keep.
Hmm. And how
Mhm.
tough can it be whenever you're presenting a character that is totally different from the real you, let's say?
It kind of depends. I honestly really like playing characters that are unlike me because I feel like I've played a lot of, like in some of the horror movies that I've done, I've played a lot of kind of bitchy characters without a better word for it. And I kind of like it because I'm diving into something that I don't really get to express in my everyday life because I'll have emotions of things that like emotions that I want to act on that aren't exactly favorable. So obviously you don't because you'd be the better person in your everyday life. And so I feel like it's fun to kind of dive into those sometimes like nastier aspects of life and like of personality. I feel like it's just really cool and it's nice to be able to express those things in a safe environment and just kind of like have fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end, you want to make it kind of as relatable as possible, right? So I
Mm.
get it because I think when you manage to make it like that, the audience can appreciate it more. You know what I mean? If you kind of go like a little bit to it to focus a little bit like on those details, on things that will actually trying to make like the character like more authentic to it. And also you can tell whenever someone actually kind of is playing it the way, yeah, they are playing it basing on themselves somehow, and sometimes we can see like a cardboard performance that they basically didn't like the character at all and they're just performing it because for the
because they have to. Yeah. You have to love your character. You have to. Like you can't knock your character, you can't not like them because it's going to show in the work. And then you're not going to book it because you have to like them. Even if you don't necessarily agree with them, you have to like them and you have to enjoy portraying them.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And what has been your most your yeah, like your most toughest role you ever played at at this moment?
Ooh,
Or like challenging as well, like
my most challenging role? Um, hmm. I would say not that this has necessarily been my most challenging role, but in two movies, I've been killed. And I feel like in one of them, especially, I was basically pleading with this person to not shoot me. And I feel like it can be hard in those life or death situations to really bring up those emotions authentically. And so I feel like that's something that I struggled with a little bit to really put myself in those shoes because I've never been in a life or death situation. And so I tried to find what would be kind of similar. And I feel like that was probably one of like the most challenging scenes that I've had is just that life or death, basically begging like to survive and to live.
yeah. And how you broke character, like whenever you're having like those type of scenes, you know, that there are tough somehow, you know, as you mentioned. So how you manage to kind of break character to it and to, I don't know, return to be the real you or go to lunch. You know what I mean?
Do you mean break character like when it's done and to kind of let go of those emotions after
Yeah.
you've shot it?
Yep. Yep.
I feel like it's just grounding yourself again, like grounding yourself into your real life, focusing on where you are, who you're with, the environment that you're in. Because you don't want to get stuck in that zone of the way that you were feeling in the scene. And it's good between takes to stay there, but when you're done filming, when they've gotten that shot, I feel like it's really important to just ground yourself afterwards and who am I with? Where am I? And just kind of like bring yourself back.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough, right? Like whenever you're playing this type of situations that in your real life you haven't played, you haven't, you know, you haven't experienced them. Because even though, I mean, I would assume that even so that you know it's not real,
Mhm.
your body doesn't, right? Like somehow. So I would assume that sometimes it might get like a little bit trickier, of course, depending on the scene, but to be able to kind of push that away, or I mean, maybe not, maybe not like pushing away, but just like to be, you know what, this was this, that's it. I mean, this is it. I'll return for the to the real version of me somehow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like putting that not quite because you don't want to put a wall up necessarily, but
Totally.
it's kind of like breaking that connection to the character and to
Mm,
just continue in your life. It can be hard because you really try to become somebody else. And for that period of time that you're shooting, if the character is very not like you, I can imagine it can bleed into parts of like your everyday life and you can kind of carry that with you until you're fully done shooting.
totally, totally. And after a long day on set, what is the number one thing you always do to kind of relax?
I would say I have a very extensive nighttime routine, but this is an everyday thing for me. So I always have my tea, I have my nighttime vitamins, I read my book. I love reading. I would say that's my best like wind down.
Hmm.
But I mean that's an everyday thing for me. That's just I have such a strict nighttime routine that it's just second nature at this point. It's not necessarily something that I do just because I'm on set.
Totally. So you try to follow that routine as I mean as much as you can.
I try to. Sometimes it's hard with if you're doing night shoots and your schedule's completely whack, it can be a little harder, but I definitely try to stick to my regular routines as much as I can
Totally.
given the time frame that like we're working with.
Yeah, I mean, at the end, it's really important to take care of yourself. I mean, at the end, if you don't if you don't maintain the instrument, which is you,
Yeah.
you're not gonna be able to perform at all. And like even sleep time. I remember back, for example, when I was in college, I was I was at the worst. So I needed to pass an exam in order for me to pass it. Otherwise, I will be failing it, yes or yes. So it was either I do it or either I do it. So I basically for 2 days I didn't sleep at all. So I was study. So I was able, to like to study. I did that. I passed exam, but I'm not gonna lie. After I was done with it, I came back home and because I didn't sleep for 2 days, I was like even hearing voices. You know what I mean? Like it was this
You're just
crazy
not.
because I didn't sleep at all and I was just drinking Red Bull, and like things like that. So my
Oh,
mind was a complete mess to it. So I remember that I just slept for almost like a day, and then I
yeah.
woke up and things were like much better. And then I understand like, okay, this I can't do this anymore.
Well, because you really need to prioritize your health. And if you let your health go, then you can't do your job, you know?
Totally.
Like you have to take care of yourself first and foremost, and that is what's most important.
Totally. Totally. So in your case, you are doing it in a badass way, so that's why you were a badass. So we're discovering it now. I see it coming. I'm like,
There we
okay.
go.
I started to get why she's super badass. I'm liking
Yeah,
it. This is cool.
having my badass nighttime tea.
I love it. I love it. We all need it.
Yeah.
And many actors have rituals or routines to get into character. What's yours? Do you have like any pre-show rituals that help you to get into the right mindset here?
Mm, I would say thinking about my circumstances as a character is definitely most important to get myself into that zone of where I'm coming from, where I'm going, what are my thoughts going into the scene, how do I feel going into the scene. But especially for auditions, I do find it really important. I always grab myself a coffee. I listen to some good music while I'm driving there when I was, doing in-person auditions and stuff. And then I always love to do a really, really good stretch because you always want to be in your body. You want to be active. You want to be fluid. So I always do stretches right before I do auditions or any sort of work because I just feel like it loosens everything up and gets you feeling and breathing, and it really translates into the work.
That's good. I like it. That's like
Yeah.
badass level 3 here, you're saying.
Yeah, we got tea, we got stretching, and we got a coffee.
We're killing it here. We're killing it here. And and on the flip side, what's the most bizarre or unexpected thing that ever happened to you on stage or on set?
I honestly don't think I've had anything that's happened that's necessarily been bizarre or unexpected to a great extent, but something that's cool that I can actually think about is when I was shooting Orphan First Kill, because they brought back Isabel Furman to play um, the main girl, the orphan, and she's obviously grown at this point. So she had to crouch a little bit, and then everybody else was on platform shoes that were probably about this tall. And they were walking on those, and it was kind of one of the funniest things to see because she's crouched down so she can kind of be a little shorter, and then everybody else is wearing these massive shoes so that in frame there's a big height difference. And I would say that's kind of not necessarily bizarre, but I'd say it's pretty cool to kind of see.
Yeah. Have you ever
Yeah.
walked on those shoes?
I have not on those shoes. I've walked on like regular heel platform shoes. I feel like every girl has, but no, not something like that where it's like a block under your foot. I've never done that, but I wouldn't want to roll an ankle. I feel like the ankle rolling percentage is quite high with those.
Yeah, yeah, I did once. I
Really?
did. Yeah, yeah, I did once for a play in high school, and let me tell you that that was the most scariest experience ever because I was like, I'm just gonna break my ankle at some point, or even like my knee to it because even if you're trying to walk normally, you can't because it's not your height. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
S-
it's just different. You feel like probably lanky, right?
You feel weird. You feel strange. You
Yeah.
feel like something's wrong here. Like
Something's not right.
yeah, because you try to do, you try to do things with your regular height, but you can't. So
Yeah.
it's just weird, and I'm not gonna lie, all the whole time I was just like, at some point I'm just gonna hear something cracking, and it's gonna be my ankle because even though that I try to walk slowly, my foot were like shaking. You know what I mean? Like they were
Yeah.
actually shaking because I was like,
You're just
man,
walking like this, you're wobbling all over the place. I can
yeah.
imagine. They looked hard to walk in. They didn't look easy, that's for sure.
Yeah, a friend of mine was telling me that I was looking like Bambi. With the legs on it on ice because they were like super shaking.
Just
And
all wobbly trying to get
yeah.
somewhere.
And
Oh my
at the end I was like, this is no, I'm never gonna do this
goodness.
again. No, no.
You're like, I've tried it, I've experienced it, and now I'm good. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Michael.
So if you ever got the chance to use them, trust me, even know that you're like, okay, I got this, you're gonna hear a small voice telling you like something's gonna crack.
Yeah.
And
Like,
like
you're gonna go down mid-scene.
and if you have to, like to go upstairs or something like that, oh, that's even worse. Like,
Like, you're holding onto the railing with both hands, just trying to.
but you're grabbing it like with, I mean, it looks like when you're going upstairs, you look like if you were bathing a cat. You know that it's actually grabbing like, with the bed, like with all the
Oh,
forces is like that.
with your nails just grabbing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I will keep that in mind if I ever have to put on those shoes. I'll just say I'm not going upstairs. I'll just tell them that I'm not going upstairs with them.
Yeah. But once you get them off, oh,
It
and
probably
you
feels so good.
and you're walking, yeah, and you're just walking normally, it feels like you're walking on clouds.
Oh, I bet. Well, and it probably works out some different muscles as well. Because even when you're in heels, I mean, heels are a little bit different because your toes are down and your heel is up. Heel is up.
Mhm.
Um, but I can just imagine walking on those, like you're working different muscles to keep yourself upright. So it just going back down to your regular feet just probably releases all of that
Yeah.
tension that's there.
Yeah. And like now that you mentioned heels, like every now and then whenever like we see like a dance perform, like a dance performer or something like that, and I see that they're wearing heels to it and they're moving like they were wearing sneakers, I'm like, okay, this is super badass.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
insane. I've watched a lot of videos of like jazz or just heels classes in general, and they're moving as if they are on clouds and they are just I don't know how they do it. I don't know how. Couldn't be me. I'm pretty good at walking with heels. I can run in heels. We're good on that front, but dancing in heels, I don't know. That's an acquired skill for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, yeah, that's like, I mean, that's badass. I mean, not as badass as you, but just badass.
I
You know what I
would
mean?
say that that's pretty badass. Yeah, that's something that I aspire to be able to do and just make it look so effortless and smooth.
Maybe one day.
One day we'll work
Yeah.
on it.
We'll never
Next
know.
next time we talk, we'll re-bring this up and hopefully I will have learned something by
There
then.
you go. And I tell you what, why not? We could do an episode of doing like a whole singing, like carpool singing, and then we could do like a whole dancing choreograph, and I'll be wearing heels.
Oh my God.
Should be interesting.
Hey, as long as you're doing it with me, um, so down.
I mean, I'm a terrible dancer, but I will give it a shot.
I'm not amazing myself. So I mean, I feel like we'll kind of be on the same page. We'll be learning it together. It's all about the
There
experience.
you
How about
go.
that?
There you go. There
There
you
we go.
go.
Yeah.
Or if you give me a couple of shots, I get it. I
Give
got
you
it now.
a couple of shots.
And then
Oh,
I'm good to go.
hey, that make everybody be feeling a little loosey goosey. So I'm pretty sure that would do something. The ankle rolling might go up a couple more percentages, but I mean the fluidity will
Yeah.
also
I
go up.
mean,
So
we could put like some like some bandages to it to kind of prevent it. You know what I mean?
wrap your
hmm
ankle.
hmm
Hey, I
Because
mean,
because I do have broke my ankle once, so I
oh, yeah, okay. So we definitely don't need you breaking another ankle. We are gonna wrap that thing until you can't even move it.
totally, yeah, because when I
There we go.
broke it, I was like, this was the most ridiculous thing. I like why, I was just like, why it wasn't even necessary for me to do it. I mean, I could have avoided,
Uh,
but I was just went for it, and then I was like, yeah, no.
oh no. Yeah, no, that's
But we'll
not a
see what happens. We'll see what happens. Should be
we'll
should
see.
should be like an interesting episode of doing it. Why not?
Yeah, TBA.
Yeah,
TBA.
yeah. I
Ready?
know I know some dancers in Vancouver who could actually help us. So we'll see.
Amazing. Okay, that sounds great. See, we already have the stepping stones in place. We just got to build the castle now.
Super
There we
badass. Now we are discovering even more why you're super badass. I'm loving it.
go. Oh, thank you.
And if you could play any historical figure or fictional character, or even an animal, why not? Let's go crazy. Who would it be and why?
I am not a history buff. So for history, I have no idea actually. For a fictional character though, um my current favorite, because I love to read, I'm super into the fantasy romantasy. I absolutely love Fourth Wing, and Violet Soaringale is, I would sell my soul to play that role. I'm not even joking. I genuinely would. That is just, I love her character. I love her growth. She is badass. That is a badass character. I would love to play her. And then for an animal, I would say if I were to be any animal, I'd probably be a tiger. I would like that.
Hmm.
They're sleek, they look cool. They're a cat. I love cats. I love all animals, but I love cats. That's a big cat. So, yeah, probably a tiger. Yeah.
I'll take it.
Around in the forest. I feel like that'd be kind of cool.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Have you ever saw a tiger like in?
Not in real life. I would love to go to Africa and do a safari or something like that, but
Mm,
I've only ever seen them in captivity in zoos and stuff like that. So
yeah.
I would love to. Definitely not in real life, like in the wild, because
Mm,
like out of a truck, because obviously death. We don't want that. But if I'm safe and to see a tiger, I feel like that'd be super cool.
yeah. Yeah. Me too. Yeah, I will take it. I would love to see like one of those animals like that. But as you mentioned, yeah, to make sure that you're actually in a safe environment, that
Yeah.
there is, that the chances of you getting attacked, because at the end, I mean, you are in their environment, so it's obvious that they will see you as prey.
Yeah, and I don't want any surprises. I just want to enjoy my time. I'm not looking to get mauled. So,
Yeah, no, me neither. It's not on my plans yet. So,
yeah, I think that that would be a bad way to die. That would probably be a little bit lower on my list. Okay.
hmm
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I would think that. Yeah, like between die, yeah, okay, between dying like that or dying in the toilet, I think those are like the two worst ways to die.
Dying in a toilet? You
Uh,
mean like dying while you're like going to the bathroom?
Yeah, imagine you are minding your business and then you have a heart attack.
Like, I wouldn't necessarily say that's a horrible way to die, but that would be an embarrassing way to die because somebody has to find you on you know what I mean? It's more so embarrassing and kind of just like that would really be not very good for my ego to be like, oh, how'd she die? She died on a toilet. That wouldn't be a very good way, but I don't think the dying, if you were to have a heart attack on a toilet, would be exactly any more painful as anywhere else. So,
Totally.
yeah.
I'm loving this conversation already. I mean, we're moving to acting to dying in a toilet. This is fantastic, isn't it?
What's next? Oh,
Yeah.
gee.
Yeah. Plus, if you die on a toilet, just make sure that whoever, I mean, because you died on a toilet, you didn't flush it, so ugh,
No, you got to have somebody that's going to have your back. Yeah, they're gonna flush, they're gonna do all of the things, make sure that you're all cleaned up. Yeah.
yeah. So stay
You gotta
safe.
have, you gotta have somebody good find you.
Yeah. So
Gotta
stay
have your
safe on
best find
toilets.
you. Yes,
Mhm.
exactly. Stay safe out there, people. On
Totally.
the toilet.
On the toilet. Most important.
Stay safe in the jungle and stay safe on the toilets.
There you go. If you manage to do that, the sky's the limit. You're
Oh my,
safe. You're in the safe zone now.
yeah, we gotta be safe.
But so okay, so probably would be dying on a toilet would be embarrassing for sure.
Mm.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I think that would be like on top of most embarrassing. Like when you were, at some point, did you ever watch this TV show? It was like 1,000 Ways to Die or something like that.
I have seen that. Yeah, just the weird ways that people have died. Like, how some of them are so out there that you're like, how has that even happened? How? I don't understand. My brain can't comprehend.
Yeah, no, no, yeah, I mean, yeah, like me neither. I'm like, how? You know what I mean?
Like,
How
just
was
how?
how was that even possible? Like,
Yeah,
there's
it's
no
kind of like,
way
how,
some.
how did you let yourself die like that? Like, what?
Mhm.
How did you do that? How did you allow yourself?
But anyway, so just to to move to the next topic here, as we were saying, stay safe on toilets, stay
Yes.
safe on safaris. You'll
Hmm.
be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. And flush it. Most important.
Yeah.
And as an actor, you often work closely with directors and fellow cast members. So can
Mhm.
you share an experience where collaboration led to unexpected creative and breakthroughs or insights?
Hmm. I would say you're always finding insights when you're working with different people because everybody, like, scenes and everything are written a certain way. So everybody has kind of the flow, but I feel like circumstances and just the way that somebody comes into a script can really change the outcome and the feel. And I feel like it's really cool when you come together with different people and you all have different ideas and different takes about the same scene, the same line, the same character. And it just goes to show that everybody is so different and there's not necessarily one right way of doing something. It's just the way that you have interpreted it and staying truthful in those circumstances that you've brought to the table and kind of just like bouncing things off of other people and ideas, I feel like is really, really cool and beneficial because there isn't just one way. There's so many different ways. And I feel like that's really important to keep
Mm.
in your head. Yeah.
And like how is like the whole vibe to it? When you were kind of discussing this ideas or this kind of ways to do like to play this specific scene, like how's the whole vibe on it? I mean, since you have been there, tell me about it.
I would say the vibes are always very positive with the people that I've worked with. And I think it's really important to also stay open with who you're talking with because you don't ever want to come into something thinking that you're right and not be able to be moved around by the director or the other people that you're working with. And it's important to always stay on your toes and just be able to take in new information and new ideas and switch things up from there.
More badass here.
We're
No, but it's incredible.
slowly climbing tiers.
Yeah, at this point you're like badass level 10.
Okay. How many levels are there?
50.
50. And is level 50 the highest one or is level 1 the highest one?
50 is the highest one.
50 is highest. Okay, so we're at 10. Okay.
Yeah, but you're rocking it here. I'm super sure that we finish it around 40 something.
Yeah. Like we're at a good start. I'm honestly pretty happy with that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I don't suck.
if we think if we put it like in perspective, the whole toilet, for example, the toilet topic gave you like, you know what? No, no, no. You are badass level 20 something
Oh, okay. I will take that. I'll take that. I'm gonna write that on my mirror, badass level 20.
at this point. But who knows? Maybe you will reach into
But
like even more.
yes, another TBA for everybody.
There you go. Now, is it true that when you're on set is like being on Disneyland? Most of the actors that I've interviewed have told me that whenever they're on set, it's like Disneyland. It's like another total experience to it. So is it so for you on your case, like how you usually feel when you know that you're gonna be on set, but I don't know, the next day, or you're gonna be filming on a project? Like how is the whole emotion? Yeah, like how your emotions go when you are about to do that.
Oh, like how excited you are as if you're so excited you're gonna go to Disneyland, like you're so excited that you're gonna
Mm,
go on set. Honestly, I have never stopped being excited whenever I've been on set. You definitely get more of the nerves out of the way. Like, let's say you're working on a project and you're on it for 5 days or 10 days. I would say by a few days in, the jitters are mostly gone of, hoping that you do a good job and like really wanting to make a good first impression. But I would say the excitement of going to work and being there and being able to act is always there. I love it. I love the feeling. I love being on set. I love being surrounded by everybody. I love the energy that's there. It is kind of like Disneyland because everybody's just in a great mood and everybody at least should be there because they're doing what they love and they want to be there. And I feel like it's really nice. It's not like an everyday job where you're going in just to kind of pay the bills and because you have to, like you're going in because that's what you want to do and you love it and you're just so thankful and happy to be there.
mm. Yeah, yeah, I
I would
do.
say yes. I
Yeah,
would fully relate to that.
I'll take it. I'll take it. And I do think that basically when you are doing that, it's like, I mean, you're literally like literally living the dream.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, like you're doing something that I just think is so cool. Like it's amazing. Like the process of just going in and shooting a movie and creating something is just so cool. I love it.
Yeah, and also I would also assume that that knowing that you are creating something that people are gonna watch it and people are gonna react to it, and based on your performance, they're gonna react a certain way or they're gonna feel in a certain way, and also like that that whole idea, the fact that you're gonna be able to make them feel something that even though that when you're watching something, is not real, sure, but
Mhm.
the emotions you are having towards to it, they're real, right? So.
Yeah. And I mean, that's kind of what acting is all about. It's portraying emotions that everybody has and making people feel something or being able to have people in the audience relate to that feeling and what you're going through and how it feels. It's, it's really quite amazing.
I like it. And actors often have to adapt to different genres and styles of performance. So is there a particular genre or style that you haven't explored yet, but you would love to try?
I would say comedy. Comedy is something that I've never shot and I've never auditioned for comedy either. Um, but I just think it'd be super fun because comedy is all about being fun and just having a good time. And one of my actual favorite comedy movies currently is The Wrong Missy on Netflix. I don't know if you've seen it.
No, I haven't.
Probably not. It is hilarious. And I think that it would just be a hoot of a time to film something like that and just be so out of pocket and so out there with yourself and your character. I would love to do that and to do comedy. I should probably take a class in kind of like finding out like like the comedic timing and stuff like that. I feel like that's something that I'm not exactly well versed in, but I
Mm.
definitely would like to be.
And that's amazing, like the whole idea that you get the chance to play so many different type of genres here, of
Mhm.
situations or characters. And I think that also, right, at the same time, it helps you to discover more about yourself at the same time.
Yeah, diving into those other areas of yourself that you normally don't and kind of like fiddling around with them.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Epic. And if you were if you were on a stranded island and you could only bring three movies to watch for the rest of your life,
Oh,
what would they be?
oh, okay. So, top one would for sure, this would never pop out of the top three. This would be something that would always be there is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. That one is my favorite out of the Harry Potter series. I love Harry Potter. I think it's fabulous. There's the trials in there. There's so much going on. This is the pivotal point in the series when Voldemort finally, comes back. I love it. I could watch that movie every single day for the rest of my life. Um, and then I feel like I have to pick something from my childhood, which would probably be Kiki's Delivery Service. I think it's a Japanese animated movie. Don't know if you've ever seen it. It's really good. It just hits like a core memory for me. And then I'll choose something that I have currently really been liking, and that is surprisingly Descendants, the Disney movie. It's like a
Mm.
Disney movie series. There's three of them currently. There's actually another one coming out soon. It has Dove Cameron in it, and the third one specifically is really good. One of the good characters has a really evil turn, and it's also like kind of a musical. They sing in it, and her turning point into a villain gives me goosebumps almost every single time that I watch it. I just feel like I love it. So that's probably one of the shows that or like one of the things that I've been binging recently. So I would add that into the mix.
Okay, I'll take it. There you go. Good combination going on here.
Yeah, we got a lot of different things. We got a lot
Mhm.
of different things.
Yeah, yeah, like the Harry Potter ones. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, the Goblet is actually a good one. Yeah, I will take that one for sure.
My favorite one. Yeah. There's
Hmm.
just so much going on and it keeps you on your toes every single time I watch it. There's so much happening and I love it.
Yeah. When you were a kid, did you were having like your wand or things like that, or not at all?
So I actually owned two wands. I think I still have them in my storage locker actually. I have the Elder Wand and I also have Hermione Granger's wand. So
Lovely.
I have both of those. I'm pretty sure I still have them in my storage locker. I can't remember if I got rid of them when I moved from Winnipeg to Vancouver. I think I still have them, but yeah, I had wands. I used to pretend that I was a wizard and that I was gonna go to Hogwarts and that I had superpowers and all that mamma jammas.
That's like even more badass now.
You're a wizard, Jade.
More badass.
Boom. Okay.
You know. Back when I was a kid, here's a funny story. Back when I was a kid, I was, also like super excited about Harry Potter. So I was around the house with my wand, right? So one time I got angry with my mom, and I don't know. Anyway, so I got angry with my mom, and then I said a spell apparently to disappear her, right? But my mom was like, "That's how you want to play, huh?" So my mom actually left the house for a couple of hours, and she told my brother and my father what happened. So they decided to play a prank on me when I,
Oh no.
on the kid version of myself. So they were like super afraid because they were saying that I actually made her disappear.
How old were you?
I don't know, like, well, I mean, I want to say like probably like
Oh my God.
8 years old, nine, something like that.
Were you
And she,
so worried? I would be so
I
worried.
was, I mean, my family told me that I was even crying. I was even crying, and then she appeared, and then she was like, ah, and after that, I was like, that's not cool. You actually traumatized the kid for doing, you know what I mean?
It's not cool, Mom. I spelled you a go away and you actually went away.
But
Not
uh, but I kind of, it's like a vague memory, but I kind of remember that when that happened, I was like in shock I was like, I actually have a power to it. You know what I mean?
you're like you're like I'm magic. I have magic.
So that was cool, but at the same time terrifying experience.
Yeah, I bet. Lots of mixed emotions happening in that moment for you.
Yeah, yeah. So but it's
Imagine.
funny because every time that I'm watching Harry Potter, like a Harry Potter film, I instantly got like that memory to my head, and I'm like, okay, this is. I mean, at that point was like the most horrible experience ever, but now it's like a fun family moment when they decide to play a prank on their youngest. So
I feel like that turned into such a cute little memory. I love that.
yeah, so so yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool.
Maybe you actually do have powers and maybe they just don't want you to know. And so they said that they just faked it. Maybe you just willed her back. Maybe you're actually still magic.
There's only one way to find out.
Oh,
So we'll just go outside, and I will try to, and I will just try to disappear people every now and then.
ah, just people are walking by your lawn. Disappear. Could you imagine walking by somebody's lawn?
All
And
right.
just yell at you with a wand to disappear.
If someone would actually do that in real life, I would be laughing a lot. I would be like,
Oh my
"This
God.
is amazing."
That'd be hilarious. I think that'd actually be so fun.
Yeah. Have you saw this once that they actually kind of a burst of fire on something, like a spark or something like that? Have you saw those?
Yeah, those are the newer Harry Potter wands that have like the little something. I think I've seen a video at one point of them, but I've never seen one in real life, and I can't like fully remember exactly, but that sounds really, really familiar. I
Yeah,
feel like
I want one. I don't care. I mean, I'm on yeah, I recently yeah, I'm on my 30s, but I'm like, I want that thing.
you don't grow out of stuff like that. Like if you like that stuff as it like I feel like people don't grow out of that. Some people do. I will never. I love fantasy. It is my joy. It brings
Totally.
me so much happiness. So I'm just gonna live in my little bubble of that.
Totally. At the end, it's like we don't really grow up. We just get older, but we still have
Yeah,
toys. So,
yeah, exactly. We just upgrade our toys, but we still have the same fun energy and yeah.
yeah, I might get one. I might get one of those ones, and that would be pretty funny to scare people like that.
Yeah, there's another TBA for the audience members.
There you go.
Yeah, we've gotten 3 so far, I think.
We're killing it here. This is amazing.
Doing it. Yeah.
And if you could create a dream ensemble cast for a movie, who would it be in it, and what kind of movie would it be?
Oh. See, my really bad trait is that I don't keep track of a whole lot of artists with their names. I'm really bad with names, but I know when I see good work. So I feel like in terms of a genre, it would have to be fantasy. It would have to be. It's
Pretty
just
cool.
my favorite. I love it. It's my love it so much. Just makes my heart happy. Um, I would say the greats, like Angelina Jolie would be absolutely amazing. She's fabulous. She was just killing it. We love her. Um, Leonardo DiCaprio, genuinely, I've seen a video of him, and it was while he was filming Wolf of Wall Street, and he's completely deadpan. He's just so in the zone of like what he's created for his circumstances that when they do action, he absolutely comes to life. And I just feel like it'd be so amazing to work with somebody like that who's so incredibly skilled. And my one of my favorite actors is Margot Robbie.
Hmm.
She's just she's top tier. I I love her. I think she's fabulous. She's just Margot Robbie. Like I don't think I'm ever gonna get sick of Margot Robbie.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah,
Personally, for me, I don't think I'm ever gonna get sick of her or like
yeah,
watching anything that she's in.
yeah. She has done like a lot of cool stuff. So,
And she's done a lot of cool things. Yeah,
hmm
probably those would be like the 3 of them that I would love to. I don't know if they would do I don't know if Leonardo's done any necessarily fantasy. I know Angelina Jolie has done like Maleficent. Margot Robbie, I don't think she's done any fantasy before, not that I can remember, but I'd probably like to have them. I feel like that'd be a pretty cool trio.
would you say that for Leonardo DiCaprio, the movie Inception was kind of a little bit fantasy going on, or
Oh, that's the one. I've seen it, but I feel like it's been so long ago that I forget exactly the storyline.
it's about that? the movie goes like what happens when you dream.
Oh, and they're in their brains, right? Like they're sleeping and they're living in a different world in
Uh-huh.
their
And
brain.
they're like able to connect
Uh,
dreams with each other, like things like that.
I would say that that is a little bit more sci-fi,
Sci-fi, right? Yeah.
in my opinion, than fantasy. And sci-fi is great, but I think fantasy is more so
Mm.
what I'm drawn to. I don't mind sci-fi that like, a sci-fi would be like Maze Runner, Dune, stuff like that. But I feel like a very, very high fantasy just does it for me.
Mm. I'll take it. Why not? And if your life was turned into a movie, which actor would you want to play you and why? And I think I already know the answer for this one.
So I feel like if somebody were to play me, I do love Margot Robbie, but
Mm-hmm.
I've also gotten look wise, and I do really love her work. Emma Roberts. I feel like probably from everybody that I've seen or everybody that I've been told I look like, I feel like she's probably the closest. So, but I think she's a little bit older than me, but I feel like I could see her playing me just in terms of look wise. I
Mm.
feel like that would be a good match, I think.
Yeah, I'll see that happening.
Yeah, like I feel like I've gotten that quite a bit that people say I'm kind of like an Emma Roberts type. And I feel like I can see it. So I could imagine her in terms of just like looks for who would kind of fit that most. I feel
Mm.
like her.
I tell you what, let's make that film happen at some point, and then like on the final scene, you will appear as a cameo. So then we'll be like, oh, so this is a real Jade.
Yeah. See, and like they have to kind of look like the real person, you know what I mean? And I feel like she would probably do the best job at that from the actors that I can think of off the top of my head.
There you go. I mean,
Hmm.
who knows?
Maybe that'll one day happen. No, probably not. But like maybe
I
one day
mean,
there will be a
yeah.
movie about Jade Michael.
I mean, life is too short, and you never know, right? Things just happen randomly, and every now and then something will connect with something else. And once you realize you are already making a movie, TV show, book, I mean, you name it.
Yeah, never know. Hey, we can always hope, we can always dream, put it out into the universe and see what comes back.
Go big.
Yeah, or go home.
Yeah, and
I
stay
mean,
there.
I think you and I are both currently at home, but
But we go
we're
big every
going
now and
big.
then.
We're going big.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And in the age of streaming platforms and binge watching, what's your guilty pleasure TV show or movie that you could watch over and over and over again?
Ooh. I get very I don't know if it's my slight undiagnosed ADHD, but I really have movies that I love for a month, 2 months, something like that, and I will just keep continuously rewatching them, but I would say something that I have watched the most and rewatched the most. I'll exclude Harry Potter from that because we already talked about that, but Grey's Anatomy. Yeah, I used to have a thing. So I unfortunately stopped watching when the whole COVID thing got brought into it. I couldn't watch it. It was too much. We were dealing with it in everyday life and then it was on TV. I just wanted to escape it. So I actually stopped watching, unfortunately. But I think I've seen I think that would have been the 16th season. I've watched all 16 seasons probably about 4 times. 4 or 5 times because I would just anytime a new season came out for the last maybe 4 seasons up to the COVID season, I would just watch it all the way through. I would get to that season that's new and then I would just restart it. And then I would watch it all the way through. And by the time I got to the end, there was the new season. And then I would just rewatch it
rewatch it.
again. Yeah, that went on for a while, actually. I didn't get sick of it. It went on for a very, very long time, actually.
Yeah, I think they worked for like what, like 15 years, something like that.
They what, sorry?
Yeah, they were. I mean, they've been like releasing stuff from over the past like what, 10, 12 years, something like that.
Yeah, they have 19 seasons now. So I feel like they have had to have been filming for at least 20 years. It's been a really, really long time. I don't know, that's not necessarily the longest show running, but pretty up there. That's a lot
Right?
of sequence.
Yeah,
Yeah,
should be around there.
that is
Yeah.
wild. That is crazy.
Yeah, I think that one in between ER.
Yeah, that one. And Friends, I think, also
Yeah,
had
Friends
a
too.
lot of seasons. Friends had what, 24 seasons, I think? Or was it more?
Mm, I think it was around that.
Was it? I kind of want to look it up.
Let's discover it. Let's find out.
Friends. Friends seasons. Okay, so, oh,
10.
wait, 10?
Hmm.
That doesn't seem like enough. I thought it was so much more. Okay, never mind. I am wrong. I'm actually surprised by that one, to be
May
completely honest.
maybe it was, maybe we all thought that it was long. Yeah, that they were like for like super long because of because of how much they were like putting their episodes for I don't know, for so many years.
Maybe, yeah, because I mean, it's shown everywhere. Even nowadays, there's Friends repeats happening all the time. So maybe it just seems like it's been going for so long because it's still on. It's still so popular. Everybody loves it.
Yeah, it is, and it's actually it's interesting that even to this day, there's people is like recently discovering them. So it's like I'm super sure that I mean once yeah like when we die, there are gonna be people still discovering. I mean that show is gonna stay forever basically.
Oh yeah, that is for sure a classic. They did really well with that show. I never watched it personally all the way through, but I have seen my fair share of episodes. That's for sure.
Totally, totally.
Mhm.
You know, I'm watching here like the longest shows.
Okay, what does it have?
So we got. I mean, it's yeah. So we got at number one, The Simpsons. They started at
Okay.
1989, and they're still present.
Oh, wow.
Around 34 seasons. So I'll take it. Then we got Law and Order SVU. They started at 1999 and
Oh,
still
I can
go.
see that. Yeah, yeah.
We do have NCIS. They started at 2003 and they still release stuff. We got Grey's Anatomy. They started at 2005 and they still releasing stuff.
Yep. So it's been, yeah, there we go, 19 seasons. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane. Good for them. Just having a show that goes on for that long and everybody, a lot of people just love.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I
Hmm.
do think, right, that that as an actor, when you get the chance to be in a TV show like that, that you know they're gonna stay, that basically your character will stay forever. Any people are gonna still discovering it every now and then. I think that's, I mean, I think, and when that happens, I mean, I would say that this is it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
what I wanted.
it's kind of interesting because a part of me would love to get cast in a show like that because you're diving so far into a character and because people love it and you're constantly working and doing what you love. I feel like there's something great about that. But also, I feel like it would be a little bit sad to not be able to try out other characters and be
Mhm.
able to explore other characters because at that point, like Ellen Pompeo is, I'm not too sure if she's worked on other projects, but she's Meredith Grey. Like that's who she is. That's who everybody knows her for. And which is good and bad that she's worked so much for that character and on that show. But at the same time, I feel like it would also be a little bit sad to not be able to explore other characters and other genres and to be able to do other things. So there's a little bit of like a, the consistency would be great and the constant working would be great and not wondering, when you're going to get your next next show or next movie, but then also not being able to really play around with any other characters and explore those other parts of like yourself and other genres.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, because at the end people will remember you for the role you did on a TV show.
yeah,
You know what I
which is
mean?
great, but also it's iffy because if you want to
Hmm.
be able to explore other things and other options, it's I think not always the best because you're trying to break out of that shell of the character that like you've built and that people see you as. And I feel like that can be really difficult.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So maybe like a little bit of half and half.
Yeah, like have a show that runs for like quite a bit, 5, 6 seasons maybe. And then, learn what you can off of that, enjoy yourself while you can, and then go off and explore other things and just other things that you haven't been able to before.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I like it. And acting often involves, the whole vulnerability and putting yourself out there. So how do you handle, it happens, the whole criticism and rejection in such competitive industry?
I feel like that's so hard because it does really get to you because I feel like what I've done to kind of keep myself grounded was find things other than acting that I genuinely really love to do and that enrich my life. So, my reading, my morning and my night routines, yoga is great, being in the outdoors, being with animals, finding other things that bring you joy and other things that bring you enrichment so that you're not only basing your worth and your happiness on your job because I was doing that for a little bit. When I stopped booking, it's been a little bit since I've booked, but I feel like that was my entire personality and I really put a lot of weight on it for my self-worth. And I feel like you just have to understand that you're an actor, but it's not 100% who you are. And there's so many other different parts of you that are so great and that carry a lot of weight. And those are also really important and not to just put all of your eggs in one basket and say, "Oh my God, if I'm not an actor, I'm nothing." Or if somebody rejects me, then I'm a bad actor or I'm not this and I'm not that. And focusing on what you do have and what's kind of important in that sense. Yeah. I'd say that's my like best advice is just to be comfortable with yourself and find other things that bring you joy and enrichment.
I mean, at the end, it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, exactly. And something hopefully better will come around the corner. And as long as you enjoy your day-to-day life as well, um, I think that you're doing good, and just be patient with yourself.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, at the end, enjoy the ride. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Enjoy the whole
exactly.
experience to it, you know? I mean, at the end, it's your life, and of course, we all have those. I mean, at some point, you will have the experience with rejection, pain, things like that. But I think also that whenever those moments happen, they're somehow coming. I mean, they're somehow happening for a reason. Perhaps at that point, we might not see it, but later on, we start to get it in our because maybe we needed to face those type of situations to get stronger on something or to develop something new or you know what I mean I do think that we all come to this world for something. I mean, I do think that we are not just randomly beings just out of, you know what I mean, like we're not just random
Yeah,
people out, I do think that everyone has come here for a reason, but of course it's up to you to discover what is that something, and once you discover it, basically go for it. So
exactly. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's really important.
yeah,
Yeah.
even like more badass here. So,
Yay, perfect. All these like life lessons that hopefully other people will take some. Yeah.
yeah. And if you weren't an actor, what career path do you think you would have pursued and why?
Probably going back to my animal thing. Just anything with animals, opening up a rehabilitation center, going across the world and saving strays or something like that would bring me a lot of joy and make me feel like I had purpose, and it would fulfill that need in myself to do better and to leave the world better than you came to it with. So probably something with animals for sure. I think that's what would give me a lot of joy other than acting. I would really love to do something like that still, but if
Yeah,
acting is completely out of the picture, I feel like I would focus 100% my goals on something animal orientated.
there you go.
Hmm. Yeah. I love animals.
Epic,
They're so
epic.
nice.
Yeah, yeah. I live with 3 dogs, so
Small dogs or big dogs or a mix?
big dogs.
What are the breeds?
Husky.
Oh my
But
God.
here's the thing: the husky. If you, I mean, right now because he's old, it's kind of a little bit difficult. But back when he was, back when he was young, and he would stand up on 2 legs, his height was 1.75 meters.
What is that in feet?
I'll tell you right now. Give me
My
1 second.
conversion is horrible on that. I'm pretty sure that's around 6 foot, though, isn't it? Maybe, possibly. I am probably wrong.
5'7",
Oh,
5'74",
5'7". That's a big dog. It's a very big
and
dog.
yeah, and weights around 50 kilos, which I'll let you right now, which is in pounds is 110.
Oh, okay, yeah. So big dog, very big dog.
So it's cool. Like whenever I'm walking with him, it's like I'm walking with a wolf. So I mean, it's amazing. I'm loving it. So it's that one, and then the other one is kind of a mix between a collie and yeah, it's kind of mixed between a collie. It's big, but not that big,
Kind of like
And
medium sized.
yeah, and the last one is a pit bull.
Oh, you know what? I have a soft spot for my pit bulls. I feel like they're just so sweet and genuinely they're really good family dogs. They're so loyal. I think they're amazing. When I grew up, we had two American bulldogs and one Alapaha blue blood bulldog, and they were just such good family dogs. We didn't exactly let them see a lot of people when they were younger, so unfortunately they weren't as good with newer people. They were a
Mm.
little off, you kind of had to earn their trust a bit, but as family dogs, they were just so incredibly loyal and loving.
Yeah, yeah, and it's interesting because the pit bull, it's on his Velociraptor era, so he just tends to cause chaos every now and then. But he,
Ah.
I mean, I love those 3 dogs, but the pit bull, he's so fun. He's super kind, and it's interesting because people have like this stigma that they're like super violent and crazy, and but whenever they tell me that, I'm like, no. I mean, it depends 100% on how you raise those dogs.
It
You know,
does.
I mean, if you raise a dog in a safe, friendly family environment, they're gonna be super nice and they're gonna be super kind and all of that. But it's a shame that specifically like those dogs, they have like this stigma because of yeah, because of douchebags who they raise them in a very aggressive, violent way, then of course they're gonna be. And the same way goes with us humans. If you put an infant in a very aggressive, violent environment, at some point that baby's gonna be a grown-up man, and he's gonna do terrible things because that's the way he got. Like what I mean. I do think that
Exactly.
we just it's easier for us to just like put brands on dogs and be like, no, they're aggressive because that's on their nature. And I would say like, no. I mean, if you think about it, we all have our own kind of aggressive meaner, you know what I mean? It
Is,
You know what I
it
mean?
happens, but I feel like it's the whole nature versus nurture. And even if you know that you're getting a dog like that, let's just say, even if they have a predisposition for anything, you need to know that by getting that dog and being a good dog owner for that breed, that you need to socialize them. You need to train them their commands. They have to have good recall. Like you need to take that upon yourself. And it's because of owners that don't know what they're doing and don't do that and then bring them up in, not good environments that these dogs end up being like that, and that's why they get a bad rep. It's just because of the bad owners, and they don't train their dogs, and they don't raise them in good environments. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's
That's my opinion.
no,
That
I
is
know, I do agree the same thing because it's incredible, and due to that, whenever I will walk with a pit bull, people just ran away from me, and I'm like,
scary dog
fine.
village.
You know, I have a park near where I live, and you know, sometimes if there are like no dogs, you can, you know, let the leash go so they can be running wild.
Yeah.
And it happened a lot of times that when I'm walking with the pit bull and I go to this park, everybody just walks away, except because it happens like a couple of times that there were some owners who had also a pit bull, and then they would tell me like, "Hey, do you pit bull can socialize?" I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, mine lives with two other dogs, so he's pretty
Mhm,
fun, cool."
mhm.
And like
Yeah,
once you see them play, I mean, it's interesting because like mine, and I think I think most of pit bulls do that sound that when they're playing is like you're hearing like a monster growling, but they're playing.
yeah, they are. They just make that noise and they open up their mouths. And same with Frenchies, they do like the jaw fighting, so their
Mhm.
mouths are open and they're just doing the whack of it. I don't know if you can kind of picture that. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but yeah, and they create those noises and they're just having fun, having a good time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
love
you
it.
go. There you go. So yeah, so I know what you mean. I mean, living with your dogs is one of the most incredible thing ever. I mean, the thing
Hmm.
is my clothes have dog hairs. That's inevitable. No matter
Oh,
how, no, like no matter how to try, but it, you know, it's just the way it is. And I do think that like whenever you get the chance to spend part of your life with them, you can also get the chance to discover new things about yourself too. I remember back when a couple of years ago, I had a dog that basically he lived almost 20 something years,
oh my God.
and when he passed away, like literally a part of me left with him, you know, and it took me years to kind of you know, to kind of like actually understand what was happening because I was like, this dog basically saw me growing, you know, basically saw me as a child, saw me as a, you know, as an adult now, and it was just it's just crazy like how much can actually impact your life to it, you know.
Mhm.
And but at the same time you stick with the good memories and be like, you know what, it's great because because of that experience I was able to discover more things about me, you know, to be more friendly with animals, to kind of understand them as well, you know, to kind of have fun and to basically enjoy the time with them, you know. So
Yeah. And you're their entire world, and it's so sweet. Like I had a cat, we had him since the day that he was born, because we had his mom and his dad, and he passed away about a year and a half ago now, and he's 14 and a half. So that cat, and I'm 27, so that cat had seen me through, I had him for basically over half my life, and he was my heart pet. I loved him so incredibly, just so much. And yeah, that was a really hard stake to the chest when that happened, but I'm so thankful for all the memories that we have, and being able to experience a love with an animal that was that strong. I feel like it's really powerful.
totally, totally, and as I said, I mean, it actually helps you. I mean, at least to me, it kind of made me like realize that, like, you know, like, oh shit, like things are not temporary, they're not forever. You know, sometimes, and that's just life. That's just the way it is. But as I was saying, I mean, you stay with the good things, and I mean with the good memories. And I think when you, at least to me, what happened was that I started to kind of enjoy life more. You know what I mean? To actually like eat, like even if you're having like a conversation with someone that you just knew, to make sure that you're having like the best conversation as possible because you never know, right? And you never know. I mean, life happens sometimes, but at least if you can get the chance to enjoy all like as much as you can with life and as much as you can with everything, at
And to
least,
connect.
you know, at least to you feels like genuine to it, and you start to enjoy, yeah, just you start to enjoy things like a lot more. So
I think that's really important, because it's all about the journey and making every day count, and yeah.
yeah, I mean, you never know, right? I mean, you never know when you're having a conversation how much that person will impact you somehow. You know what I mean? Maybe in the future,
You
maybe
might
right now.
connect them. Yeah, 110%.
Totally. For example, talking with you, maybe discover how badass you are. So
Just extra badass.
loving it. So, you know, just the way it is. So
Mhm.
epic. And my last question. So we can all enjoy and relax after a couple of fun, interesting questions here and there. So here it is. What do you think that could be the title for this episode? How would you call it?
Kind of from our talks, maybe live in the moment or just in the moment.
In the moment.
Yeah.
Sounds deep.
That kind of, yeah, because I feel like a lot of our talks have been just being in the moment and being present. And I feel like that's something that everybody should always strive to be. So I feel like I feel like that'd be kind of a good one.
I'll take it in the
You
moment.
don't have to use it, but that's what came up to mind currently.
I
So
mean, no, I will use it for sure. I
something
mean,
along those lines.
it sounds like a franchise to me, just saying.
Oh, okay. Yay.
We'll see. We'll see. But I
Love
mean,
it.
at the end, what can I say? You know, the fact that you are doing it, you know, you're pursuing what makes you happy, you are showing up. I mean, that's incredible here because I do think that is super inspirational, and especially right now, that we should. I mean, at least what I think is that we should be focusing more on people like you who are doing the work to it, who are that they are pursuing their dreams to it, you know, because we all know how difficult something might be, and it's challenging for sure. But the fact that you're keep moving forward and not giving up, I mean, that is super badass.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. That means a lot.
Totally.
We're all doing our best, and that's all you can do.
And I'm super sure that our next conversation at some point will be about the multiple thousand projects you've been here and there, because you know it's inevitable for sure. But also, I do think that great things happen to those who are just honest to it. You know what I mean? Who are just doing it because they like it. You know, and as a simple and cliche that some people might think, I mean, at the end of the day, as I was saying, it's a pain in the butt. But you're doing it, you're showing up, you are showing results, you are giving us epic performances, and it's incredible because from this conversation, I'm super sure those who are, you know, either watching this or listening to it, that whenever we'll see you in a film, TV show, or you know, we can know that it's gonna be that your role is gonna be epic because of the passion you put to it. So that's super cool.
Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much.
Absolutely. I do want to thank also those who stayed here this whole time. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Also, make sure to go follow Jade. I mean, we all know now why she's super famous, right? So let's make it viral. # Team Jade. And again, thank you so much for making this happen. Keep shining out there. Keep being this incredible, super badass. Keep up with the epic work. And I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you so much.
All right.